Hey, what's up guys? We are back here on Differently Reacts. This is my second video. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, share, comment, like, and let's get right into this video. So today we're gonna go look at a very popular thing that a lot of people like to react to, which is Jubilee. I think we just found our video. Is being fat a choice? Let's see what this video is about.
If you see me, you consider me obese?
I wouldn't say that you're obese, but it's like medically,
So,
you know.
So like for example.
So you're medically obese though?
No,
Yes.
I've been medically obese since I was like 12 and I was not obese.
Okay. So it's basically muscle mommies versus fat people. Fit versus fat. Okay. Let's get right into it. Fit woman, fat woman.
Welcome back to Middle Ground. I'm John. I host the Radical Empathy podcast, and I'll be moderating today's discussion between fit women and fat women. And a friendly reminder, if you are writing a hate comment, you are part of the problem.
Oh, he said you were part of the problem.
Your physique is in your control. Will the agreeers please step forward?
She has a question. I have a question. When you mean physique, can you specify like what exactly are you trying to?
I think physique is like the shape and size of your body.
Shape and size of your body. Let me answer the question. Is your physique in your control? To be honest, 100% is in your control. There's a lot of people with eating disorders. There's a lot of people with metabolism issues. So there are rarities where it's kind of out of your control, but it's still in your control. If you take the necessary steps, you talk to a physician, you talk to a nutritionist, a dietitian, whatever you got to do. As long as you are putting in the initiative, you totally have control of your physique. You might not get the physique that you want, but you have the control to change the physique that you have. So let's say you're a little obese and you want to cut down. It's very hard, of course, because that's why people go through weight loss journeys. And it's all about mental, but you have the ability to diet, you have the ability to work out, you have the ability, as long as you push yourself to do those things, then your physique is definitely in your control. That's just my opinion. Some people might have other opinions, like the people not sitting down, so let's see what they got to say.
Why were you hesitating?
Because there's a lot of different illnesses around. So like
Exactly.
I have family members that have like thyroids and they can't gain weight or they can't lose weight. But I think that they can manage to stay at a place that's gonna be healthy for them. To me, personally, I do feel like I can be at a better place. I'm working on it and that's my goal. So.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think that definitely people have ailments, there's different diseases and all that, but I think at the end of the day, what you can do, the best physical peak for your personal body is in your hands. You may not look like someone you want to look like, your ideal situation, but you can optimize your body to be the highest performance that you think that you can get to.
When I first started working out, I lost 60 pounds, and that included just counting calories. I didn't have to work out as hard. I did the treadmill. I went at an incline, and I just walked the whole time, watching a movie and just walked. I just made healthier choices.
Let me tell you, a lot of people do this. They hop on the treadmill, they do incline, I say 3%. It's a level 3 incline. No, it's level 3 speed, and they do 15 incline. And I tried that. I was with someone, and they told me to hop on this and do it, and we did it for like 30 minutes, and I was sweating. It is super intense. And honestly, you can work your way up to 3. You can go 1, 2, whatever is suitable for you, and you just walk, and you're walking uphill, and it will burn so much. I don't know, like calories wise, because I've only done it like once, but I was sweating, drenched. I was tired, exhausted, and that was before my leg workout, and it honestly made me tired before the leg workout, but then as soon as that tiredness went away, which was like probably 10 minutes, it made my workout a lot more better because there was blood pumping through my body, even though I was exhausted, and it made my workout just more efficient and more better. So it's a great exercise. So
Choices, and I've been mindful about what I put inside my body.
Like you put in that effort, right? You made those conscious decisions to walk on the treadmill, count your calories. You were super exact with everything, and that's how both of you guys were able to lose so much weight, right? So your physique is 100% in your control.
Exactly.
It's just that nobody wants to put the effort in.
Just so we can invite the disagreeers, that's
A
a great
mentality
point to
thing.
bring in our disagreeers. Whoever wants to pick up where we just left off.
So while
wanna
of
see what
course
they
there
say.
are that I think you can control your physique, I think there are more things that are out of your control. Like it is so much more expensive to eat healthy than it is to eat like crap. If I go to the grocery store and I just want to buy a bunch of frozen meals, that's going to be so much cheaper than me going.
So, financials is definitely a controlling factor, but if you think about it, you still have control over that because it's all about prioritization. So if you prioritize your health over little other things, I mean, not little other things, you still have bills, you still have other things to do, but a lot of people will give up a lot just to keep their body healthy so that they prioritize their health. So they pay for what they have to pay for to get their body in shape. They pay for the gym membership. They pay for the personal training. And honestly, it's all up to you. It's all up to whether you want it badly or not. And so financials should not be an issue, but it is an issue. We have to recognize it, honestly.
Going and buying fresh produce and fresh fruit and everything.
I disagree.
I disagree too.
Why do you disagree?
The prepackaged food, the frozen ones, way more expensive. I've been on a budget,
crazy.
you know, eternally. I always save money by just going to the grocery store and buying ingredients.
I agree with you on that, but I can go get a frozen meal sometimes for $1.50, $2, where if I want to cook a whole meal, like depending on what all the ingredients I'm getting, that could be $10.
So you'll get more.
Yes.
So exactly when she said you'll get more. My apologies if I'm stopping the video but we're reacting to the video. Let me just say this: when you're buying groceries, when you're buying ingredients, you're buying like a week's worth. You're not gonna buy like a day's worth. You gotta make it efficient and make it worth your while so that you don't have to buy these little packets and stuff like that are unhealthy. Because if you think about it, those little packets add up. Within the week, if you buy one a day, it'll cost probably more than how much it would have cost you to buy those ingredients. So, and if you buying like spices and stuff, spices last months, not even like weeks. It lasts months. So that's what I do when I go shopping. I buy all the spices I need, the salt, pepper, and everything. I'm good for the month. I'm good for probably even 2 months, to be honest, depending on how season my stuff and how lightly I season it and everything like that. I like a lot of seasoning, so probably a month to 2 months, depending on how big the jar of seasoning is. But like I said, you buy a bag of bell peppers. You're not using bell peppers in every single meal, so it's gonna last you the week, and it's gonna cost like $6, probably, depending. I don't know, but also you'll be more full and it's more health conscious, and so it'll be a lot more worth it. Than you're getting a lot more value from the product itself. So,
But still, you have to think from people who have like no money and they're thinking like, oh, I can get.
I've had no money. I've had
Say that
$12
shit.
for a week's amount of food.
$12 for a week's amount of $12 for that's crazy, bro. Like you can't even get carne asada fried. You can't even get like a burrito for $12. $12 for a week's of food. Damn, she was poor. Yeah, that's crazy. But talk your shit. Let her know.
In the short-term mindset, it is cheaper. You go to a fast food restaurant, they have like a $1 menu. I think they've even increased the $1 menu.
No, it's a lot more expensive now.
Yeah, $1 menu. So that's valid, I think, but I think it's killing us in the long term. Like it's like that short dopamine effect, the dopamine where you're like, oh, I just need something right now.
Talking that shit.
I think that's the issue.
I also did want to, just touch on, other than like food costs, like there's also privilege when it comes to like having time to cook stuff.
Definitely,
Like if you work a
100%,
full-time job, if you have kids and stuff, a lot of the time,
So now she's bringing up the time factor, and that's what meal prepping is about. Like a lot of people are like, oh, I have like no time. Take a portion of your week, meal prep for the whole week. Time is not a factor anymore, but they probably gonna say that, so we'll find out.
it's just easier. You don't have the time and energy. Like I enjoy cooking, but it's a lot of work sometimes, and it's much easier for me to just like go through the drive-through. And then also privilege when it comes to like your mental health. when you are depressed, when you're struggling to even like get through the day, it can be really hard to have that motivation to eat well, to move your body and stuff. So for then when people are like, oh, well, why aren't you working out? It's like, dude, I can barely even get out of bed. So like,
Yeah.
please stop with that.
I just want to say that I didn't step forward because I have PCOS and I just recently got diagnosed with it.
PCOS.
So with PCOS, it's so much more difficult for me to lose the weight and control what I want my physique to look like. It's just so much harder. It's not impossible, but it is.
We can fix it.
It's something
and we
that
can
can
fix
be
it.
fixed.
PCOS, we can fix
Sorry
it.
to cut y'all off, but Brie, I just wanted to hear from you.
There's
always that one person
Like,
who does
your
it.
body is in your control. I just think it is not 100% in your control. To say it's like black and white, you can change it or you can't, is just crazy. It's just so nuanced. I really like appreciated you bringing up the food access that you have, the knowledge access, your socioeconomic status. I go to the gym, I sit there, and I'm like, if only everyone had access and the free time to do this. I'm sure so many other people would love to do that, but people are struggling. They need to pay their rent. They can't just allot that time. They need to prioritize. And I think that's ultimately what is really sad.
Yeah.
Everyone would love to take care of
I
themselves.
disagree. I'm sorry, I disagree. Like, there's some of us who are on the fit side that don't have that privileges. I wake up at 4 a.m., have a full-time job.
Snaps to you.
I get it done. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
Talk that shit. Because look, you can have all of these things that you need to do, but it's about prioritization. Do you want to live a healthy life? Or do you want to have diabetes? Do you want to have to cut off your toe? Do you want to have heart failure? You want to have high cholesterol? You got to prioritize your health, baby. So making up all these excuses, talking about, I have a full-time job, I have this, I have that, that's limitations. Shorty right here, she said, she wakes up at 4 o'clock. I know some brothers who don't even wake up at that time to pray, you know what I'm saying? But we're not going to talk about that. She wakes up at 4 o'clock, has a full-time job, she working out, she fit, she take the time to make food, she does it. Y'all need to learn something from this lady.
I want to be the highest version of myself, the most evolved version, and she has to show up.
But your life allows it. Yeah.
No,
Your
I make
lifestyle-
my life allow it.
Exactly.
I
you
surround
do,
myself
but
with
other
that.
people don't have the possibilities that you
They
have.
do.
They
just
do.
Not everyone. No.
And I also
No.
think there's
You
something
need
to be
be from
said.
Gotta put the effort in. That's
But
it.
I also think too, like let's say for example, you're a teenager and you're like 500 pounds.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
work that you need to do to remedy that is ungodly. Like that's really challenging. That's a
I
hard
agree.
thing to do for
I
anybody.
agree.
As opposed to like me, I was really skinny and then I decided, oh, I'm gonna go to the gym. I put on my weight. The results are showing. It looks like I'm working super hard. I make these choices like go girl.
Right.
But that is not the same accessibility that someone can make that change for themselves in different circumstances.
I agree.
So I
My
think
only
that is, like,
caveat is it's hard for both, but it can be done, is my point.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
That's
say
my
that it's
only
as hard
point.
for me as someone who's overweight trying to lose that weight. In my opinion.
But do you
She's
believe
not
that can be
saying
done?
that.
I believe it can be done. I believe
Okay,
it can
so
be
we
done, but I
agree.
think
All right
empathy
there,
and
it can
compassion
be
for
done.
the
So
different
physique is
circumstances
in
that
your
may
control.
stop someone from doing that is necessary. To see like, oh, get off your ass and like do all this,
No one said
which you're
that.
not saying, but I'm saying some people, commenters,
Myron's
might be
not in
saying
this
that.
episode.
Myra was the
They
word.
said Myron
Is
fresh
the
and fit.
spectrum
Oh, that's
for your
crazy.
body. Our height isn't under control. Our fat distribution, our bone density, our
See,
muscle
that-
density, our metabolism.
But then at the same time, that height could be changed. That height can be changed. It's gonna cost you, but it can be changed.
These are all things that make up who we are. But in
But she's
that
telling the truth though.
spectrum of health, absolutely, we can change who we are
Yes.
with what we got.
And then we'll stop right there and move on to the next one. Body positivity can promote unhealthy habits. Will the agreeers please step forward?
Facts. Everybody step forward.
I think blind body positivity can be harmful if it's just like always like don't ever consider any possibility that you could change something or improve your quality of life. Just blindly accept yourself. I think that's where it can get kind of toxic.
Yeah.
I don't look like how I looked when I was 20. So body positivity is encouraging you're gonna transform eventually. When you're 40, when you're 50, you're gonna get wrinkles, all these things. So yeah, definitely body positivity should have taken another route instead of just saying it's for big people, because it's not. It's for all the variety of people that need to accept you're changing.
Yeah, I think the pendulum has switched to the furthest extreme. I think body positivity was created because there wasn't a space for people who could have acceptance in bigger bodies. And I think it's just gone to the furthest extreme now. And
Like, women come in all shape and sizes, right? And every woman is beautiful. And I think that you should really be confident in your body and the way that you look, wake up feeling your best. But I feel like especially on social media and in society today, this body positivity movement, I've seen like multiple times where there's like obese women promoting body positivity, and it's like, I wouldn't want like my
What's
kid.
obese for you?
Like an unhealthy lifestyle.
No,
Like
but
overweight.
what do you mean what's obese for you?
Obese, like for
For
medically
me,
obese.
if you see me, you
What's her
consider me
range?
obese?
I would
Yes.
say that you're obese, but
Okay.
it's like medically.
So, like for
So
example,
you're medically obese though.
No shame,
Yes.
no
I've been
hate, no
medically
nothing.
obese since
But
I was like 12 and I was
she
not
looks
obese.
Well,
obese.
does anybody here?
So
would anybody here explain what they mean by medically obese? Just-
Exactly.
ahead.
Like
BMI.
Like when you go to the doctor's office and you get
She
weight on a
obese.
scale and they'll tell you, oh, you're a little bit
No
overweight,
hate or
they'll say
anything, but
you're
this is like
morbidly
medically.
obese, you're obese, you're
Because of your
whatever
height.
these things. So like,
Yeah.
like if you look at me, you would be like, oh, she's a plus size, but I am technically considered obese.
So
Exactly.
by my doctors.
And
Exactly.
I was obese at, I think it's 30 BMI. Now the BMI, have come to learn that it's a little bit tricky now.
right, it's not the most accurate.
Right.
Well,
But
it's
that's what it's
dependent
based
on
on.
what type of
Right. So,
measurements
correct.
you take and
But
stuff like
now
that. There's machines that are very
When
accurate.
I was a size 14, I was considered obese. It's smaller than we think.
I think an obese person, and this is not calling absolutely anybody obese, but I think a person that can be considered obese will not be able to go on walks. They will lose their breath. For
That's
me,
morbidly
because
obese.
I am a person that I'm big, but I'm like I said, I'm still able to go on hikes and I won't lose my breath. I can go on runs. I can exercise. So if for the
you're-
doctors I'm obese because of the
Yes.
size and the stuff that
Yes.
I am, for the doctors,
Yes.
for me, it is not the way that it works because an obese person, I've had friends who are skinnier than me. We go on walks and they're losing their breath.
So for you, obesity
correct.
is just
The fact-
health parameter of how physical you can be. For you,
Exactly.
it's not a physical manifestation
Exactly.
of the body.
What the doctor, when that doctor says that bad word, he's looking
Bad
on a
word.
chart versus saying you
How
can't.
many people have
but he's
been
saying-
bad
But listen,
diagnosed?
he's not saying you're ill and you can't walk up that hill.
I've
you,
had
you
doctors
go,
say that.
I
That's
have
the
that.
thing. I've
that's,
had doctors
I'm
say that
obese
to
and I
me.
can still
So-
walk that hill, and that's what's fabulous about it, right? It doesn't automatically mean you're ill.
It's technically
but
just a
also,
word.
Down
It's
the
just a
road,
word.
absolutely, it's going to mean you're ill. You're lucky with your genetics currently. Down the road, it's not going to be the same.
But
story.
here's the
100%.
thing, you think they're genetics, but since I was really young, I'm active. I'm an active woman.
I never said you're not active.
No, I know, but I'm just responding to what you're
Okay.
saying. I know you're not saying that I'm not active. I'm responding to what you're saying about the doctors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I have had doctors tell me that.
Tell you what?
That I'm obese and that I
Yes.
cannot exercise, that why am I not exercising, why am I not doing the effort. There's doctors that have bad diagnosed me for things that I've never had. And I've gotten medicated for things that I've never had. So it's like,
Right. Well,
it's
that's-
everybody, it's different.
They're killing us too. So
Just we
Yeah,
went
doctors
down
aren't
a
to be
tangent
trusted.
tonight. I wanna.
Oh my God, you've been
we're
saying
talking
that.
about we're talking about body positivity, whether
Yes.
we think it promotes unhealthy habits. We're gonna bring in our disagreeer.
Oh my God.
And then continue the convo.
That's crazy they had a
So I
disagreeer.
can step forward because
I totally forgot.
I really hate the toxicity that has come from people being like, oh, body positivity promotes obesity. I hate that so much. I think there is like the minutest people who are doing that. The vast majority, I do not think promote obesity. Body positivity to me is just loving your body, accepting your body how it is, and not hating yourself. Like, you shouldn't have to wake up every day because you're 400 pounds and hate yourself. Like, I don't think anybody should be hating themselves. So that
My opinion is that if you're obese and you're waking up, you should definitely not hate yourself. You shouldn't wake up and be like, I hate my life, I want to end my life, all this other shit, right? What I feel like is that when you wake up, you shouldn't say, I love myself. Not in the factor that, like, of course you want to love yourself, but you want to love yourself in a way that you wake up and say, I want to change myself for the better. You want to wake up and be like, oh, I'm so excited to get healthy. I know I am where I'm at, but I could change that. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to wake up being like, oh, I love where I'm at right now. I don't really care whether I lose weight, whether I become more like where you just don't care about the results of what happens in your life. You want to make sure that you have a plan down the road that, hey, look, I want to get healthier. I'm okay where I'm at right now, but I want to change. I'm not okay with staying the same. And that's what you should wake up thinking, essentially.
That to me is what body positivity is about, and it's also about equality in how people are treated. Like, for example, Lizzo gets called out so much on like, oh my God, she's out there with her ass and stuff. Like,
Yeah, it's
it's so
crazy.
disgusting. But Chapel Roan, who, God, I love Chapel Roan, was at Gumball and came out as Statue of Liberty and had her ass out. Did not see a single person online saying, oh, so why does she have her ass out? It's like, it's a double standard. People inherently hate fat bodies and don't think they should be seen in society.
I actually disagree with that because I do see people hating on Chapel Rowan for the way that she looks and her outfits, and there's going to be hate on both sides.
Oh, of course, there's going to be hate, but I meant like the volume of hate that Lizzo gets compared to Chapel Roan. Like, I would say, like, it's much smaller. Like, I just you constantly hear about like Lizzo, and
I have a question. I have a question
Yeah.
with Lizzo. Okay,
Always
one
comes
of the
back
few,
to Lizzo.
one of the few. Okay.
She's lost weight too.
I know.
She's lost a lot of weight right now.
One
That's
of the few
crazy.
times I saw her streaming, she had this gorgeous cake was gifted to her, enormous. Went in with it with a fork and was eating constantly and talking to the camera while she was streaming.
That's crazy.
The volume of the
That's
cake
promoting
that she ate,
unhealthy
I just went,
habits.
Oh my God, how many people are watching this? This is absolutely. This is. I just. It was a horrible representation. I hated every moment of it. What do you say? How about say about that?
well, my question would be, if there was a thin person doing that, would you have had that same
Yes.
reaction?
Yeah.
Okay, then
It's still promoting unhealthy
I think it's
habits.
like, she's not promoting obesity by eating cake on camera. She's just
But I ain't gonna lie, I eat a lot too. But like, I eat unhealthy too, which is probably not like I shouldn't be promoting it, but it's the way I eat. I eat big portions, but that's because of my metabolism, and I need to eat a lot in order to gain weight, and I have a goal of hitting 220. So it's dependent on the situation and the criteria.
eating cake
But
on
if
camera.
she's the representation of body positivity and she's behaving this way, is that promoting
Have
a
you
negative
noticed
light?
that she just posted a video that she lost weight? Like,
No,
yeah.
absolutely
Oh,
don't.
yeah.
I
She just
absolutely
posted a
not.
video
I
and she
absolutely
lost
did not.
weight. You can see the difference.
Because I don't want her in my algorithm.
So it was just probably that one day that you saw her doing that, but that doesn't.
Hey yo, she said I don't want her in my
Yeah, in
algorithm.
defense of Lizzo, not a sentence I want to repeat.
That's crazy how when it comes to fat people, it's just like immediately her name gets brought out. It's nobody else that there probably is other people that will get brought out, but immediately if they talking about fat people, you're gonna hear Lizzo's name. That's crazy, right? Like, I don't know. I feel like that's crazy to me. Just to be known as the fat person. But I don't know. No
I
hate.
have seen her post like, oh, here's a green smoothie that I got, or here's me with my salad, or like, here I am at the gym. I think there is this weird stigma where
No, facts though. I feel like I don't really follow Lizzo or anything like that, but I think I've seen a couple of videos on like TikTok while I was scrolling or some shit. And she was promoting some healthy habits and she was working out and stuff like that. So yeah, good for her.
people that are overweight have to be perfect all the time. They can never just
cake.
have a cake. And I agree,
That
it's
cake.
gorging. I agree, it's not great. Listen,
oh.
I'm not saying that's great.
That was
Not
too
great.
much.
But I'm
She
saying
hating
that
on
like
that
this
cake.
one instance of her doing this amidst all her other ones of her trying to be healthy.
Can I go on the opposite side of that? Like with Lizzo, there's like Eugenia Clooney. She's a very
Yes,
petite, tiny
Eugenia.
woman. Why are people saying, "Oh, good job, Lizzo"? Like, good job for eating healthier. But like when Eugenia Clooney's like trying to eat something, like
But is Eugenia Cooney allowed to have hashtag body positivity?
she does sometimes. So
Is she?
she promotes herself literally wearing like tiny
Because we're-
outfits, showing her body.
That was my whole point. Is like these extremes are hijacking it.
Yeah,
I agree.
think,
They're not
like,
good representation.
Yeah,
No.
that like the algorithm, they
you
will
shouldn't
push
have skinny
out
people
the most
either.
extreme cases because they get the most views,
Mm-hmm.
and that's
Right.
what people want to see.
Yes, it's dangerous.
Including these conversations. Although this one's pretty reasonable. All right, let's reset. I have taken a weight loss drug. Will the agreeers please step forward?
That's crazy. But there are so many people who do it, so it's not really that crazy. Probably not healthy for you, but it is what it is. You gotta take your avenues. You know what I'm saying?
I guess everybody's perfect.
She said, I guess everybody's
like, what do we define as
perfect.
drugs?
I think we're talking about
like
weight.
Ozempic.
Pills
Yeah,
or
well, any
like diet pills.
Any drug that you've taken. Sorry. But yeah, come on in. Let's hear your story, Tim.
I have used weight loss drugs before I knew the power of them in college and that you could get them over the counter, but they were incredibly strong and probably needed to be controlled at that time. But I was just so obsessed with my body size. I've pretty much my whole life, and that's just the culture, American culture that I was raised in and lived in, and so I would try drastic means, and I've done things that would just get you super wired. Even as an adult, once I figured out how to eat, I gained the weight back during the lockdown, like a lot of people did, and I go, gosh darn, I was so upset.
Yeah,
and
COVID was
a prescription weight loss
I ain't
drug
get
that
too
I got
much
was
off of it,
prescribed
but
by
like
a doctor, and I was able to drop the weight quickly.
a lot of people
I
I
used
know.
it as a biohack. I used it short term just to get the weight off, because once the weight is off, now it's on you. You have to know how to eat.
So this is more recently.
Yep, and this is absolutely recent.
Was
too.
it like Ozempic, something like that?
Phentermine. You can get it prescribed. It's a controlled substance.
Dentramine.
It's hardcore, but it takes the thought process out of your mind. That
I'm gonna look it
thing,
up for you guys.
That monster that always tells you you're gonna get your next serotonin kick by that food, and you're hyper focused on eating, and it takes that monster, it stops talking. So now, when the monster stops talking, you go, I can control this. I can make changes in my lifestyle in order to make healthier decisions to keep the weight off that I just lost with this drug. And yeah.
I was so desperate to lose weight. I was like on TikTok scrolling through, and like they were sharing like, oh, this drug does this and this does that, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and just blindly buy this thing. And
That's
showed up
crazy.
What kind of drug it was?
It was a pill
Just
that
blind-
I took, and it
blindly going.
really
Always
it,
do
like,
research,
suppressed
guys.
my want to eat food, but it also like had some really bad side effects. Like when I would eat,
That's
I would
why you
get
do the
sick
research.
After, and I realized like, oh, I'm feeling horrible all the time and having this energy low and like just feeling physically sick.
How long were you on it?
I was on it for 2 months maybe.
Did you lose weight?
I lost some weight, but as soon as I got off of it, I gained all of that weight back.
Yeah.
I
You
gained
have to
it
know what to
all
do.
back.
Once you're there,
Exactly.
what are you gonna do?
Exactly. It was
Yeah.
like the crutch, and like you just relied on it so much, and then once it was gone, you had to do your own
That's-
thing. And
That's why it's about building good habits. If you don't build the good habits and you just take these little shortcuts, these little cheat codes, as soon as you're off these shortcuts and cheat codes, you haven't instilled within you good habits, then you're just gonna get right back to where you are.
You have to figure it out.
you had to figure it out, and the pill was doing all that for you. And then for me, I gained more weight than I lost when I was on it.
Sheesh.
Let's bring in our disagreeers.
So I've heavily considered taking Ozempic, but I've decided not to because you either have to stay on that drug long term to keep those effects, or if you get off of it, most people are going to gain the weight back. So I'm no longer interested in anything that is not a complete lifestyle change. Like for me,
Lifestyle
I have
change.
learned over the years that I
Facts.
would prefer to be fat and happy than thin and miserable. So like right now, I'm just trying to eat less processed food.
Build good
Stay away from
habits.
like sodas and stuff for the most part, but I will never count calories, like, or because to me that leads to disordered eating habits.
For you?
For me personally, yes. I'm not talking for everybody. I'm not talking for everybody, but for me personally, and I do think for a lot of people, it can lead to disordered eating.
Kind of circling back to the topic about taking weight loss drugs. Hell no, I would never take no weight loss drug. I worked really hard for my body, and I'm like a very big believer in that phrase.
You don't need
like,
it.
If you wanted to, you could. Wouldn't you be so much happier if you lost the weight and you look back on it and it was like,
facts.
yeah, like I did that.
Exactly.
Like that was 100% all me. I didn't need no help. I didn't need no
That's
cheat
the whole
codes. Like
the whole steroid
this was the
thing.
work that I put in,
People
and
take
I got the
steroids.
results that I
They
wanted.
still
And
working
that
for
was
it,
the
but
mindset that I wish that I had
Never mind, forget that.
before I took the drugs.
Yeah.
Completely
'Cause,
different, completely
I was
different.
super naive. I was like 18 years old
Right.
and I had no knowledge about anything. And I was looking for a quick fix because all these people were telling me, oh, you need to lose weight, you need to do this. And that was in my own household. So it was my family telling
Right.
me this,
And
along with my friends and everything like that.
It's a lifestyle change ultimately. These are tools that you can utilize, but if you are not changing your lifestyle to go with it, then what will happen for it?
Right.
And so I think that's really ultimately what it is. If you're not ready to
100%.
commit to the lifestyle change, using these tools is not going to help you.
When people do these quote unquote shortcuts, a lot of the time, like mentally, they're not there. So they lose the weight and then they're still like,
Not fixing the problem.
exactly. It was like, it was this quick fix. And now that they get off it, like everything mentally, like that they were at when they were at a bigger weight is still there because
Like-
they didn't put in that mental work, like doing it on their own.
For example,
we gotta reset. Sorry, the next one. I'm getting the signal. Fit women are more attractive than fat women. Will the agreeers please step forward?
I would definitely agree. Fit women are more attractive than like plus size
Just
women.
one person?
Only because me having this body, it shows that I can commit to something, right? And it shows that I'm hardworking. So I feel
Shows
like
good habits,
men
healthy
looking
habits.
at my body can see, oh, okay,
She's able to take
dedicated.
care of
She's
herself.
put in the work, and that could be an attractive quality that men see in me. I would definitely go for like a more muscular guy. So that kind of shows that we have something in common, something that we can work on together.
So gym
Commonalities.
dates.
Yeah, gym dates for sure.
All right, thank you. Can we bring in the disagreeers?
I feel like I'm gonna get flamed alive right now. It's all good.
I'm bisexual, so I
Hey,
love
girl, me
women.
too.
I love women.
Yes, all the bisexuals.
I think that all women are beautiful. I've had relationship with women that are fit, that are not fit, variety. And I can tell you that personality-wise, the skinniest ones and the most beautiful ones have had a personality that I cannot work with. Me, personally, me. So,
Yeah.
and it comes from a place that the way that I grew up, the way that they grew up, thoughts, minds, you surround yourself with people that you like, that is like you. Your personality has more beauty than the way that you look.
Your physical looks will disappear. My grandma, she used to be a very petite, tiny woman, grew up in the Philippines. My grandpa the same way. Now they're a little bigger, they're more comfortable. 50 years later, still in love.
Hell yeah.
My grandpa always makes jokes like, when I remember growing up, he was like, this is Burger King and this is McDonald's. I'm the king and I'm loving it.
So I feel like my opinion with this is it's all about first time attraction. So off bat, when you see someone, like without getting to know them, without the personality and everything, I feel like to me a fit woman would probably be more attractive than a fat woman. For me though, I don't discriminate. Like I like fat women, fit women, all that stuff, as long as they are not in the extremes and they have a pretty face. For me, it's all about the pretty face. If you have a pretty face, you're attracted to me. Like if you are big, it's dependent on the circumstances of how big you are. But to me, attractiveness is within the face and then within the personality. So if I have something I can look at for the rest of life, then that's attracted to me. And then if I could talk to you and we can vibe and it's like a great like communication and chemistry and connection that's going on between us, that's what's attracted to me.
And I'm like, that's my grandpa. He showed me like you can appreciate a woman through all the changes, you know, like
Exactly.
And that's why I love like I could be once I get skinny, like my boyfriend can still love me, but maybe he loves me more because how I am personally.
I think people like to be like, oh, it's always going to be the fit woman is more attractive than the plus size women. I just don't think that's true. Like, there's a lot of beautiful fit women. There's also a lot of not very beautiful ones.
Right.
You know
That
what I
is
mean?
true.
To assume that size will.
There are a lot of unattractive fit women, but we're not doing that. What we're doing is we're comparing fit women with fat women. So it's like you take the most beautiful fat woman and you take the most beautiful fit woman. It's dependent. It's all subject. It's all subjective, yeah, to the person. Attractiveness is in the eyes of the beholder. Some people like fatter women. Some people like skinnier women. So, when we're talking majority, it's probably gonna be the fit woman, but it's not what everyone thinks, essentially.
always equal more attractive. I just think is like silly. It's a case by case basis.
Because I'm more on the healthy side.
Well, you can be thin and not healthy.
Yeah,
That's very
yeah,
clear.
exactly.
But the biggest issue I have with what you said, I disagree with you. I think as a fit girl as well, fit girlies, but I still disagree with you because there's beautiful women who are in bigger bodies. Like, I feel like it's an arrogance almost to be like, oh, because I'm fit, I'm more attractive. Like that's, it's ridiculous. And the biggest issue I have was what you said about men being attracted to you more just because you're fit. I think that that's basing your worth on a man. And I'm married, as a married woman saying that, I just don't understand what that has to do with the principle of just physical attractiveness. It has nothing to do with if someone else deems you as attractive. It's like just solely based on the physical. So I 100% disagree with you.
I was debating actually stepping forward because of just what society has taught me my whole life is like, thin is more beautiful, thin is more beautiful, thin is more beautiful. And I've really had to work on unlearning that, like for so many years. When I was like 19, 20, I was like, oh, the reason I'm not in a relationship is because I'm fat. Like I need to lose weight and then I'll become in a relationship, then someone will love me. And I thought that for so many years. And like my self-confidence was like down here. And I really had to work on unlearning that. And I'm still trying to unlearn that. But like I have learned over the years that people are attracted to different things. So if you ask one person, they're gonna tell you, oh, this is what I'm attracted to. And if you ask someone else, they might have a completely different answer. So I think attractiveness is subjective. I think when it comes to society 100%
Attractiveness is subjective.
I mean, I hear a lot of what you're saying, but I'm curious, anybody want to share, like, what is the type of body that you're attracted to?
To men, on men, other, or
Well,
the
I don't know,
opposite.
there's people who are attracted to men. So whether it's men or women, what kind of bodies are you attracted to?
Because I've been smaller and bigger. I am tall. I already am eliminating a majority of people because I'm one taller man than me. But what, somebody on your show, Zach Miko?
Was that the tall guy?
It was the model.
Oh, yeah.
The plus size, he was
Yes.
cute.
So
Unfortunately married.
So it's like
He's married.
I
Sorry,
have
Zach.
dated
She's
some
trying to shoot her shot.
fantastically gorgeous men, but when I feel most comfortable and myself and I can feel just kind of let it all out is a guy that's a little, has some cushion. Gym people for gym
Cushion
people.
for the cushion.
And that kind of seems like
Usually how it
unattainable,
plays out.
not my vibe.
No, I appreciate the specificity. If anyone else wanted.
So I do have a type, but also like I've never dated before. So I'd say like my type goes from
Same.
my type goes from like Prince Eric to Fluffy. Yes, the comedian Fluffy. I just feel like I could like hug him. Like he would give the best hugs and be like the best person.
It's a very
Like-
wide range.
It's literally everyone.
A lot of men fit into
A lot of
that.
infinites to that. But like I don't discriminate against like body type or anything like that.
It's funny because for me as a bisexual woman, like what I like in women versus what I like in men is like very different. So men, I'm very much like you. Like dad bods are kind of like what I'm the most attracted to. I don't want someone like super, super big, but I also don't like super skinny or like super, super buff. Like you have a little, that's fine, but like the really buff guys, like not my thing. But for women, I like way more different kinds of women, like thin, big, like I don't know. I'm just way more attracted, I think, when it comes to different kinds of women. Like when I'm swiping on dating apps, like I'll maybe swipe on like 1 in every 20 men, and like women it's like 1 in 5. Women I just think overall are much more beautiful than men. Like even
And we have better profiles. Let's get this.
yes, that too.
All right, let's reset. It's okay for models to set a high standard for body image. Will the agreeers please step forward?
It's crazy.
I did some modeling as a kid and as a teenager, and even now as an adult, I did pinup. There's definitely like high expectation and standard, especially like in runway modeling and things like that, because they push out these clothing and they only do it in certain sizes. There's standards that different companies have that they want to push out certain things. So like for pinups, they want you to look a certain way, they want you to do your makeup a certain way, they want you to dress a certain way for that style. And same thing for like Victoria's Secret, they want to promote lingerie, and there's a standard for each company and they have to live up to that standard based on what they're trying to promote.
And personally for me, I always looked up to thin people. I always found them very beautiful. I was like, I want to be able to look like a Victoria's Secret model one day. It's okay to have a higher standard of beauty because it makes you want like, oh, I want to work harder on myself to achieve that type of body goal.
It gives you higher goals in life. Like, just because they're setting these high expectations for people, it can affect some people negatively, but for other people, it creates goals. Like for me, like I've seen multiple dudes, like bodybuilders, I'm like, damn, that's the body I want. And they're over there, they're setting these high expectations for people, even though they're on steroids, and I probably won't be able to attain those types of bodies. It'll help me get me to a higher level for my own self, because now I'm thinking, as long as I can get close enough to his body, I'm gonna be at a higher place than I was before, because I put those high expectations on myself because of the fact that he has the body he has. So it's like, if they weren't there, then now I don't know what the limit is. I don't know what the possibilities are. So when I have higher possibilities, I have more leeway in my priorities as to what I want to set my goal to. And that's why I set my goal to 220, because I seen a couple people at my gym, 220, same height, and their bodies were on point. And I was like, what? I want that type of body. I want to either do that or even better. I don't know whether they were on steroids. They didn't really look like they were on steroids, but I mean, everybody is genetically gifted in a certain way. And to me, honestly, I feel like I'm pretty genetically gifted with the metabolism and how much I eat and the way I look. Even though I'm at a certain weight, I just hold it better. So when I hit 220, which will be a while from now, but when I do, I feel like I will probably hold it very good, and then I will train within that range of 200, 220, and just get the best physique I can naturally. And if I decide later on in life, maybe 40, 50 years old, to use steroids to have a better life, what is it called? If my testosterone hits a low peak, and then at like 50 years old, then I can use that as a supplement to have a stronger body so that I can really enjoy those years at that lifetime, or maybe find a way naturally to do that. But yeah, pretty much.
Might not look exactly like them, like with the hips and everything, but I want to be able to look a healthy version of myself that looks something like that.
I think it's okay for models to have a higher standard of beauty because we are attracted to attractive things. A model is selling something. They're being hired to sell something, and they're going to make it, hey, look at this. Look at the dress I'm wearing. And you as a consumer, you don't want to look at somebody that is going to go, ugh. No. I don't even want to look at that person. What were they selling? I don't know.
Let's bring in our disagreeers. More disagreeers than I expected.
Sex sells.
I completely disagree. I think we all forgot what modeling industry has done for women in our society. I think we kind of went blank for a second. I'm a journalism major. I have my degree in journalism, and growing up with certain magazines, and those women, just because they were thin does not mean they were healthy. Have you ever seen America's Next Top Model?
Yes.
There's a lot of detrimental things that were happening within that society, within that community. And I agree with you, yes, we all want to look at something aesthetically pleasing, but that varies. Also, the modeling industry is known for not being diverse.
It varies.
Right. Hello? So I don't know.
I'm not into
we just,
super
blacked out
skinny
for a
Very
second.
diverse now. It was not when I started.
Yeah, but
was
it's
not.
not
Still
that
set a
diverse
higher
now
standard
either. It's
without
evolving,
being
but I wouldn't go as far as saying it's that
extreme.
diverse. But I think that it can be very detrimental as a young woman. I think the body positivity movement kind of was created in juxtaposition because of the modeling industry of the 90s and early 2000s, how toxic that was.
I do think we have come a long way, but we still have like much further to go. The average size of the woman in the United States is a size 16. So why are we not seeing that reflected more on runways and modeling and stuff? I also have issues with it when it comes to a lot of plus size modeling too, because a lot of plus size models, they have the curves, but they have no belly. And that's so unrealistic for most plus size women, where it's like,
most plus size women, if you are a size 20 like I am, you're gonna have a stomach.
And most of those photos have been photoshopped.
Yeah, or they even put padding on smaller models to make them look bigger.
The standards keep changing. How many models do they need to show all the different body types that for this to sell one dress?
Sounds like there's a tension between the market. If the data says more
Right.
people click on this body, even if it's unrealistic,
Yes.
put that body in the ad.
Yes.
But what you're saying is that's unfair representation of the true customer.
Yeah, exactly. Because then I'll like buy something that I saw on a plus size model who has a flat stomach, and then I put it on, and I'm like,
It's
"Ugh,
not
I
gonna
hate
look
this
the
because
same.
it's clinging to like all the wrong parts. I
Exactly.
just want to see something that looks. It doesn't have to look exactly like me.
I think for a long time people thought that diversity in sizes wasn't marketable. Like I can't make money from showing all this diversity of sizes, but I think that
What they need to do, they need to take AI, have it scan you, and then like create tailored custom clothing for you, and then show you a picture of that, and if it looks good on you, you could decide to buy it or not. And like the machines at the factory will custom make it for you so it look exactly like the AI built it on you. And then when you get it, what you're buying, how it looks, it would save a lot of frustration from like when you buy this clothing and you get it and it doesn't look nothing like how it looked on the dude in the picture or in the video and stuff like that. And it'd just be like, I feel like that would be great, but I feel like it would be horrible for the company itself because it's just another factor of, because there's millions of people and now you have these factories doing million custom designs. So it's like, it's probably not the smartest solution, but it would be a great solution.
that there are new brands coming like Savage X Fenty with Rihanna. She has proven that you can have diverse bodies and you can still market and sell. And let's be real, most consumers are not the models. They look different.
Women should be fit enough to protect themselves. Will the agreeers step forward?
This is something that I
Y'all see that video? I don't know if it was a lady or a dude, but it was a very fat person, and they were holding a shopping cart. No, not a shopping. They were holding a stroller, and they tripped, and the stroller flew, and it had a kid in it, and she could not get up. You should be able to be fit enough to get up and go save your child because it was going into ongoing traffic. I don't know if there was another dude who was able to like stop it or something, but I'm gonna pull it up and you guys check it out for sure.
always say, listen, no shame to people that are thinner, but I just think you're so vulnerable when you're thin. Like if you're petite and you're frail and you're not strong enough to fight back, I don't think that's safe for
That's
you.
not healthy.
I'm a proponent of like building muscle. That way you're sturdy. That way if someone tries to come up on me, they're
Use a
going
bottle,
to feel
pepper
something.
spray,
I think
something.
we shouldn't have to.
Resistance.
Like it sucks that we're in a society that we do, but we have to.
Yeah.
100%.
You're prone to danger at any moment. Know some punches, know some locks. I don't know. But
Even as a
definitely
dude.
stay prepared.
Yeah, as someone who trains kickboxing, boxing, and Muay Thai at our facility, like we do offer like women's self-defense classes, and like no matter like what body size you are, I highly recommend every single woman to take at least one class just to know the
recommend that,
basics
too.
and just like for your own protection.
Well, I got attacked by a dog once when I was on a walk. I came out of this house and it
Same.
came after me, and I was with a group of friends. Of course, it comes after the big one. Don't get me wrong, but it was scary. I couldn't run away from that problem, but my friends were able to, and that came to my mind. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not good at cardio. I know what I need to prove more on.
Imagine as a kid you're obese and you just I had this issue where I had to run away from a dog, and that's why I ended up not liking dogs because I ended up getting bit by the dog, and I was mad young, so I got traumatized by it. But I was able to run away from that dog to the point where I had been blocked by a gate, and the gate was the only reason I didn't get away. But imagine I was fat. I probably wouldn't even be able to run. I'd be eaten alive. Yeah, you have to be fit, guys. Not even fit, but you just have to be fit enough. You know what I'm saying?
You need to be able to carry yourself, pull
Carry
yourself
yourself.
up, for, like you know, run.
Even for your kids, an emergency, your kid is swallowing something and it got stuck. or,
Exactly.
you know, everything around you needs your full potential energy. So yeah, definitely everybody work on their own pace and just make sure that you work on things that are going to help you and stay safe because it's dangerous.
Not to be an easy target.
Aside from dogs, which, has anyone ever been in a situation where they've had to defend themselves?
I can talk about it because it doesn't hurt anymore, but when I was young, I did get molested, and it's fine. I'm over it. I know it wasn't my fault. See, I work with my brain a lot, so for me, I was laying down, and it was more of a situation where I couldn't move because of everything that was happening around me, and my thoughts were just like, I need to find a way to survive. I need to find a way to push this person from me, and I was 13, so it was like, what? Pray. Because there was a cousin sleeping next to me, and I was like, please have her move so I can move. And she did. And as soon as she moved, I found the way to just push him. Like, I found the courage to push him off. It came from, I don't know where, but it came. And whatever happened after that. So it is a situation where, as women, we are subject to not just men, but to a lot of people, and where we need to find a way to protect ourselves, and not just us, as we're growing older. Like, we should be showing our children how to and who not to trust instead of judging them, instead of expecting from them. You should be teaching them to find their way and what works for them, to find a courage to save themselves from whatever is going to be a struggle for them in the future.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you for sharing that story.
I have abused my body. Will the agreeer step forward?
Stop.
Personally, for me, I've always suffered with anxiety and depression since I was young. I haven't grown up in the best areas. I used to self-harm in different ways. I suffered with purging and everything, and actual physically cutting myself. Sometimes I even tempted to burn myself. When I look in the mirror, I'm just like, what is wrong with you? And I was 13, 12, and around this time, I did not like the way I look. I'm not happy right now. And the only thing I have control of, because I don't have money, I can control what I can do to myself. And it wasn't until I got older and I started studying mental health, I started studying different ways you can take care of yourself with the resources I had. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not the best at my mind right now. And there's other opportunities I can control those bad thoughts to let them out.
What were some of the tools that were most helpful to you?
Meditation really was a big thing for me. I loved meditating. Whenever I had those, I call it noise, those just thoughts in my head, just talking. And I'm like, close your eyes, inhale, exhale, and just breathe. Just find your center and calm yourself. That's really helped me a lot.
Addiction is the disease that tells your brain that the problem is the solution. My biggest addiction was food, and and you get a serotonin kick. Everybody has a vice because that's something cheap and fast. At some point, you're not a victim anymore. You're actually doing it to yourself. This lifestyle of this and up and down, and how I even abused myself, how I used to talk to myself, and you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not thin enough, you're never enough. Until I changed the way I spoke to myself, did changes ever happen and maintain.
Abuse my
It's all
body a
mental,
lot by
guys. It's all
being an
mental.
emotional eater. I'm a very emotional person. Actually, I just found out last year that I have BPD. Ever since I was a teenager, I have struggled heavily with depression and suicidal thoughts, all the time. Yeah, I have abused my body over the years, and I'm trying to love myself more, take better care of myself.
Don't try. Just do it.
Well, you
Saying a Nike commercial?
Make it easy. Make it easy. Make it easy to speak to yourself in a kind way.
Yeah.
I just got upset because you don't want to be on this. You're a gift.
Thank you.
How dare you take that beautiful gift away? How dare you? You're not allowed to do that anymore, okay? You're here. You have to speak to yourself kindly. Yeah. Be nice to yourself. Your family members, how would they tell somebody else that's speaking to you that way to you? And you do it to yourself, that's not okay.
Yeah.
You can change it. Make a choice.
Yeah, it's gotten
very
a lot
assertive.
better over the years, that I'm much kinder to myself, and I wish I could tell my younger self to be
I feel like a lot of people about to be crying in this
Tell her
video.
right now. You can
I do,
tell that
yeah.
baby right now, she's good enough and she's meant to be here.
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh my God, I just wanna
I
give
told you to cry.
relate
That's
to
crazy.
your story so much. I I was an emotional eater
Started
too. I still
Hey, that's
am an
crazy.
emotional eater. I'm working on it so much, but
That's a lot
like
of
when I was
emotionality in
getting
one
bullied in school,
set.
like I was getting called fat and all these things, and I was literally getting notes handed to me saying that I was like a fat whale. It really messed me up, and it made me
Yeah.
attempt suicide a few times.
That's sad.
And I was a child. I was 12 years old, and it wasn't until after
Kids, I mean,
attempted and my
kids
family
do
found
that,
out,
never
because
mind.
now I don't think that way anymore. That's why I'm such a huge like advocate for mental health and just like love yourself. You have
Facts.
to love yourself
Facts.
in order to change things that you want to change.
Luke, I know you haven't spoke, but
yeah.
can I
know,
bring,
I'm
can I
so
bring in
sorry.
with this?
Yeah.
For the people who came in, the disagreeers with this prompt, what have been the most valuable tools or resources in your life to not abuse your body?
I think of like the highest version of myself, and I try to show up as her every single day. When I have dark thoughts or when things are hard, I'm like, okay, the highest version of Alyssa, like she's a baddie, she's disciplined, she loves herself, and I kind of show up as her.
I 100% agree with that. I'm a very big believer in like if you say things out loud and manifest them, then they will come true, because eventually you do end up getting like that mentality switch, right? Like if you wake up and the first thing that you say to yourself like in the mirror is like
Flick
I'm
that
ugly.
switch.
That's what you're going to go about your entire day believing. But maybe like writing something down, like having it like on the mirror and stuff, and starting every morning like smiling and with like positivity, then you'll carry that energy like through the entire day, the entire week, the entire month, and eventually like your entire life.
If you have a network of people that if you're feeling any kind of emotion or going through anything, having that kind of community to help you figure out how you can go about this without doing some detrimental harm to yourself, I think it's really amazing. And again, a privilege that I was able to have that. And if nothing else, I hope anyone watching this can really see and empathize, and like, you can't just look at someone and be like, oh, they're this and that, or they're lazy, or they don't work hard enough. Like, I think this conversation has just been so illuminating for me, and I hope it's illuminating for everybody.
For me, also, just adding to like what helped me get out of the depression that I had was I sat down and I cried. I would cry in my room and acknowledge the things that I needed to change, even though it was going to cost me. And I had supporters like my family. My sister's my biggest supporter. I love you with all my heart. And you really need
She better
to
cry.
work on yourself. Make a better choice. Change your body if it's necessary, if you can, but be healthy, because we're not getting any better. This world is just gonna get harder. So we need to be healthy and prepared for whatever we need to do. So yeah, work out safely, and everybody, we hope you're healthy for like the longest time, because man.
I definitely agree with like letting out a good cry, because I was an
Yeah,
emotional eater.
I cried a lot.
I was such an emotional eater. Like I held all of my emotions in, and what I would do is I would eat instead of letting that emotion out and recognizing the emotion. And it wasn't until like I let out that cry, I reached out to the people.
Yeah, you
and
reach out for help.
You reach out to the people that you trust and you feel the safest with. And I did that I started to realize like, oh, I need to change this. It isn't healthy to go to the food instead of going to the people. You got to go to your people.
I agree with that. The day after my mom passed, I just came back, literally, I took a plane back to California to be with my family while she was in her coma. And that day I was just like, what? My mom's gone. I want to be gone. And the only person I really trust and love and care for and adore is my grandma. She is my rock. And I remember looking at her like, we got home, I'm like, Grandma, I'm done. This is it. And she told me, and this is the only thing that keeps me going till this day, is the moment you're gone, I lost you, I lose your mom, I have no one. And reaching out to my grandma and telling her like I'm ready,
sad,
I'm ready to just end it. It made me realize like if I keep hurting myself, I'm not just hurting myself, I'm hurting the
you're
people who
hurting
love me the
others.
most. Making sure like when you're going through your hard spot, just know like you're not alone in that. There's people around you who do truly love you, and they want you to reach out to them and tell them like what's going on.
Don't hurt yourself, guys.
So I always recommend that. Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Man, everybody
She
crying. in
said,
this
don't
video.
ever apologize.
Ever, especially as a woman. Stop apologizing.
I love that.
Thank you all so much for the vulnerability and for sharing your opinions through the discussion.
crying, too.
Thank you guys for watching Middle Ground. Subscribe, watch more Middle Ground, listen to
Hey,
Radical
that's it,
Empathy, and leave
My thoughts. It was a good video. It just reiterates a lot of the things that I have mentally thought about in my life. Being fit is all about being healthy and not just aesthetics and stuff like that. I mean, it's nice to have the aesthetics, but I need to work on my health in general because I have the body type, aesthetically pleasing and everything, but I noticed that, like, in my family, like, tree and my lineage and shit, there's a lot of unhealthy diseases and stuff like that. And the way I eat, I feel like it might end up affecting me. So hopefully I can build some more good habits and stop eating things with so much cholesterol, so much sugar. Even though I'm probably just gonna go eat ice cream right off, like, after this video, cause I'm that hungry, and I'm about to make some chicken. But it just makes you think, and hopefully you guys take your health in your life seriously. And if you're in a bad place where your weight is not good for you health wise, then you take that effort and you take that time to think about what you need to do in your life to change that and build a lifestyle where you can have a mentality where you want to change that. But yeah, that's the end of the video. You probably wondering why I got this do-rag on. I'm gonna go ahead and show you. I got new braids in my hair. This might take a little bit. Goodness gracious. And I'm getting better at putting on this do-rag, honestly. The more you practice, so that's why I'm taking it off to show you guys, because then I get to practice again. And then I'll probably make a video for you guys later on. Goodness gracious. Let me tighten this shit. Tight. There we go. Pull that out. Bring it out. Right here. Over and about. Over and out. Woo. Alrighty. Kind of press that to the side. Gotta bring it forward. Oh. There we go. How we looking? That do-rag pressed it down, no cap. Let me take this one out. Right there we go. There we go. Man, I can't even see this one. Where is it at? Just don't go over. This one attached to that one, so I gotta grab this one right here and bring it forward. There we go. There we go. But yeah, those are the new braids. They're gonna take like probably 2 or 3 days for them to grow out so that they can be more loose. Cause right now I got these yesterday and they're a little tight, so they move like little sticks. Alright, but they clean though. Anyway, that's the conclusion of the video. If you haven't subscribed already, do that. Like, share, comment, and if you made it through the full video, I appreciate you. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. You guys have a good one.